Alrighty, hey and everybody, this is Sherman Ray, and this is the Nevada Conservative Podcast. Thank you all for being a part of the broadcast today. Guys, we've got a crazy show for today. This is probably going to be, what we've been doing is we've been, breaking stuff here that most people have never even heard about before. And this is going to be no different, folks. This is going to be a show called the DSA's Dirty Break Approach with the Democrat Party. And this is going to probably surprise, I think, even some Democrats. Because if they heard about this, they would be going, oh my gosh, I had no idea that this was actually in the offing. So stick around, folks. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the DSA's Dirty Break approach on the Nevada Conservative Podcast. This is Sherman Ray. I'll be right back in just a minute. Alrighty, folks, this is Sherman Ray, and this is the Nevada Conservative Podcast. Thank you all for being a part of the broadcast today. Broadcasting from Las Vegas, Nevada, folks. We really are very, this is going to be very good. This is going to be a great show today. I'm really excited about it, and hope that you can stick around for the whole thing, guys. And I want to thank you once again. If you are watching us and you're ever, on our Facebook page or Instagram or anything like that, X or anything like that, we want to thank you all. You're just blowing it out of the water. You really are. I'm just so excited about what you guys do for us and how you're able to, love us like you do. So I'm humbled. I really am. So go ahead and if you have not done so yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Excuse me. A little bit of a little thing. Let me clear that out. Okay. Should be better now. If you've not hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, and that way every time we do one of these broadcasts, you can actually get updated on it. And it looks like we've got quite a few people who have left questions for us on our YouTube channel, and I definitely will get to that, guys. We had a long day today, so I'm going to make sure we get to those to answer some of those questions. Or if you'd like to join us during the broadcast, be sure to join us during the broadcast. Well, you've probably heard about this already. Hakeem Jeffries has been talking about how the Democrat Socialists of America, that, that yes, we know they're a problem and we know that they're just, they're hateful people and everything else. But, we're a big tent party. And because we're a big tent party, we're going to, welcome them in, and we will support whoever wins if they win a general election. We'll support whoever that DSA member is, and they'll caucus with us as Democrats. And this is very interesting, you guys, because Democrats just don't care about DSA, no more than DSA cares about the Democrat Party. But it's almost, I don't know, it's kind of scary to watch these two. They both deserve each other. They really do. Because it's almost like, many of you have seen this before, guys. You've seen the Democrat Party let black people into the party. Not because they like them, it's because they can use them. And they use them for votes. Because the way it started, the Democrats wanted them as not only as slaves. But then they said, hey, guess what? They're voting for Republicans, and the Republicans are winning, so we better get these black folks on our side, so let's try to get them on our side. And then it became, once the black folks were, all used up, and we're the minorities now, and the minorities in America, the Mexicans are, the big guys. And so they started courting the Mexicans to the tune of like 25 million of them coming over the southern border over the last 4 years. But that really didn't work out really well either, because they found out that a lot of Mexican folks vote Republican. They're Catholic. They generally are pretty conservative folks, and maybe that's not working out as well as they thought it would work out, right? Yeah, that's right. They found out that was very interesting, and now while they were watching this way, the Democrat Socialists of America were coming up on their blind side this way with some of the most outlandish platform issues, like want to get rid of the presidency, the Senate, police, want to get rid of borders, schools, the whole thing. I mean, they're just some outlandish things. Well, centrist Democrats are saying, you know what? We can't agree with all this stuff, but we can use them because they're full of vigor. They're full of vim and vigor, and they're excited about life and stuff like that. And they've got Hassan Piker, and they've got Abdullah Rahman El Sayed, and who else they got? The guy that's up in New York City, the mayor up there, Mamdani. Oh, AOC. Of course, they've got some people who've got skills with social media and stuff like that. So they said, hey, we can use those guys. And besides that, they're kicking our butt. But in some respects, though, they're finding out that maybe, there's something wrong with these guys, because even though they're crazy, they will still vote. So, but they don't really realize what's going to happen to them, guys. And that's what we're really going to talk about here today. We're really going to be talking about what the DSA has actually got cooked up, something that the black folks didn't have cooked up, the Mexican folks didn't have cooked up. The DSA has something cooked up, you guys, and we're going to talk about that today, and it's called the dirty break. And this is amazing. So let's back up a little bit, because and talk about what leader Hakeem Jeffries spoke about on Meet the Press just this weekend. And he says, I don't support the DSA agenda at all, because the people were asking him, hey guys, guess what? The DSA is kicking butt. And what are you going to do with them? He says, I don't support their agenda, but if they're elected, they'll be a part of the House Democrat caucus. And that's exactly what he said. He said, guys, guess what? We don't, we're not big proponents of these guys, but we'll caucus with them. And here's what the thing that I think they don't understand is that, Jeffrey seems to think that the DSA is going to work with them on policies that are important to the Democrat Party, but that's not it at all. They're not. The DSA is going to work on defunding the police. They're going to work on open borders, abolishing the Senate. They're going to be working on stuff like that. They're not going to be working on the policies that mainstream Democrats are working for. And once again, I'm not going to sit here and make apologies for the Democrat Party or even promote them at all, because I'm not a Democrat. I just want to make a differentiation of what the DSA wants to do and what the Democrats want to do. So I just want you to understand that, okay? Because I'm not a Democrat by any chance, okay? But Democrats, from what he says, Hakeem Jeffries says, he says he said the Democrat Party prioritizes lowering the cost of gas and groceries, housing, healthcare, which they didn't do during Obama, but all of a sudden now they've had a come to Jesus moment, and they say they're going to do that. But I don't want to go off the reservation here, but that's not what they did when they had power. But they say they're working on affordability now. Okay, let's go back to that. They want to lower the prices on groceries, gas, housing, healthcare, and pushing back against what he calls Trump-era extremism and corruption. So, he doesn't know what he's talking about, okay? At the same time, he states that individuals elected in the Democrat Party, in their Democrat primaries, who then win the general election, will be a part of the House Democratic Caucus. So he's talking about DSA guys. He says, guess what? While we're fighting for this stuff, anybody who wins on our side of the line here, we will welcome them in. We're a big tent, guys, and we have a broad caucus that includes progressives, New Dems, and Blue Dogs. So he says we got them all. Okay, This matches the pattern after recent New York primaries in which DSA-backed or DSA-aligned candidates defeated establishment-backed incumbents. Jeffries publicly congratulated winners even when they had beaten people he had endorsed. So here's the interesting thing about it is the Democrats were being beaten by DSA guys, and Hakeem goes, gulp, I better help these guys in the door. Very interesting stuff here. I mean, this is okay. But once again, he keeps saying, we don't accept their policies, but we'll accept them in because they won. Okay? Because we still have to beat the Republicans, so we need more Democrats on our side, and they're running as Democrats, even though we know they're not Democrats, but we're going to have them caucus with us anyways because we need to beat the Republicans. It's a numbers game to them. That's all he cares about. I don't care what you do as long as you vote for us. In short, he's distancing the party's official agenda from the DSA's maximalism while treating electoral winners as caucus members. This is an interesting way of playing it. And this is the crazy part about it, is that Democrats are willing to accept anybody under their banner as long as they get votes. They'll accept any candidate as long as they'll pull that lever for them. They'll say, fine, you can be an axe murderer, I don't care. You can be, blind and buck-toothed and, bow-legged, I don't care as long as you vote for me. And that's kind of the Democrat mantra. Unfortunately, they don't understand that the Democrat Socialists of America are in a whole different league, guys. And that's what we're going to talk about when we come back, you guys. The difference between what the Democrat Socialists are thinking and what the Democrat Party is thinking. And that could mean the difference between life or death for the Democrat Party. We'll be right back in just a minute, folks. All right, folks, we are back to Sherman Ray, and this is the Nevada Conservative Podcast. Thank you, guys, for being a part of the broadcast. And once again, guys, I just want to let you know that if you are wanting to get this broadcast, you just want to get the audio part of it, you can actually go on Spotify, and I think we're on Apple Podcast also, too, and you can check us out on Apple Podcast. And we're on Twitter, not Twitter. Oh, excuse me. It's old school now. X, Instagram, Spotify, Rumble, Truth Social, that kind of stuff. So, and on our Facebook page. Or you can go to our website at www.thenevadaconservative.com. Okay? And folks, somebody said that I was an AI bot. They didn't think I was a real person. And I am a real person, you guys. I'm not a white oligarch. Somebody's called me a white oligarch. I know. Can you believe that? A white oligarch. No. I'm a real person, guys. I really am. I don't know how to prove it to you, but I will. That's the way it is. Today we're talking about the DSA's dirty break approach. And I think this is going to be something, we're setting the framework for it real quick, and we'll get into what a dirty break is. But I tell you, this is very interesting of what's going on here with the Democrat Party and the DSA. And just as an aside, there's another election tomorrow in Florida, big one in Florida, where you've got Jared Moskowitz, who's a sitting congressman, who's the DSA guy going up against him. His name is Oliver Larkin, I believe it is. And once again, just another, I don't know what you want to call this. I think you probably call this another attack on the Democrat Party. So, check that out. Also, you've got Debbie Wasserman Schultz, She is probably going to be challenged by a guy by the name of Elijah Manley. And so, guys, this is big. Democrats are getting a fistful of it, guys. We just talked about how Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democrat, the congressman, minority leader, basically said on Meet the Press, he goes, "Hey, guess what? We reject the DSA, their platform, but it's for us, it's a numbers game. We just need people. We need votes." Okay. This is very interesting. So let me once again. Hakeem Jeffries rejected the DSA's positions. And the DSA's position on defunding the police and open borders, abolishing the Senate, but he still accepts or welcomes the DSA back candidates who win Democratic primaries, and he calls it a broad caucus. Wow. That they accept in progressives and new Dems and blue dog Dems. Okay. Let me point out, and so he's pointing out the math here. The math here is, in a tight house, every seat counts, and leadership is choosing numbers over ideological purity. So they don't care. The Democrats don't care what you are, as long as you're going to pull the lever for the Democrats, or they hope you do. But let's talk about, in this segment, what the DSA really wants. Okay. And this is probably more important than anything else, is really, what does the DSA really want? The DSA, which, and many of you know, these Democrat socialists, we've been trying to explain this online so much, is that democratic socialism hinges on, and it's not the Nordic model where you see that, you've got a highly taxed constituency, but they own property. Democratic socialists don't believe in that at all. They believe in high taxes, and they are going to own the large corporations. So so it's not the same Nordic model as you would see in like Finland or Norway or Sweden or something like that. Okay, they want to have a collective ownership of major industries. In addition to that, they want to abolish the Senate, to replace the president and the Supreme Court with bodies subordinate to Congress, which means you're gonna get rid of parts of our Constitution, because that's basically what you're gonna do. They want to defund or abolish police and prisons in the long run, which is just, I just don't understand. So where are the people gonna go who commit crimes? Because I can guarantee you, folks, if people find out that there's no police, guess what they're going to do? They're going to steal stuff. And then what are you going to do with those people? Are you going to call a counselor? No, it's not going to happen. They want to end U.S. support of Israel, abolish ICE, and I think that's probably one of the biggest sticking points of this whole thing, is that they hate Israel. They don't want to support Israel at all. And that's, and so I get people online who call me, a Jew lover and all that other stuff. And I go, you're right. Yeah, I love the people of Israel. I'm a Christian. That's what we do, And so you're not going to have me back off of that because you called names or something like that. These are not fringe opinions inside the DSA. It's official. They're official documents and repeated by leadership. These are the things that they call every day. So all you people that are online who keep saying that, I'm making up stuff, guys, just got to go to their website. Just Google in Democrat Socialists of America and look at their policy position, and you'll see these are the things that they actually believe in. And they're not fringe things. They are part of their official policy. And that's what Hakeem Jeffries says. Well, we don't like your stuff here, but you're going to pull the lever for us, so we're good with you. That's fine. And that's kind of the scary part about it. If you guys notice something, that there are no there's no Republican or conservative socialists of America. You don't see that. Why? Well, because Republicans wouldn't stand for this. There's just no way. So, anyways, I digress. So let's do this. Let's take a real quick break here, And when we come back, you guys, we are going to talk about the core of what we want to talk about here today, and it's called the dirty break approach. And this, I think, is going to flabbergast you. Democrats, if you're listening to this, and I know some Democrats listening to this is going to flabbergast you, and it's something we've been warning you about, okay? Anyways, this is Sherman Ray. This is Nevada Conservative Podcast. We'll be right back. All righty, folks, we are back to Sherman Ray, and this is the Nevada Conservative Podcast. Thank you all for, once again, for being a part of the broadcast. This is that time of the show, guys, where we start really honing in, excuse me, on what's really important in this whole thing. The Democrat Socialists of America and the Democrat Party have created this relationship. And the relationship is the Democrat Party on this side, the left side of the ledger, needs votes. And so they will do anything they can to get more votes. And so so even though the Democrat Socialists of America are cleaning their clocks, they're saying, yes, but you're a vote for us, and we hope that we can, and we want you to be a part of us, because once you get up to Capitol Hill, they basically believe you'll fall in line, okay? You'll want committee assignments, you'll want to stand on the floor and speak, and you'll want to do all these other things. And once you get up to Capitol Hill, that you'll fall in line, okay? And hopefully vote for us as Democrats. So that's the Democrat Party. And then you have the Democrat Socialists on the other hand, who are saying, you know what? We cannot get into power unless we use the Democrat Party to get into power, because our system of government, guys, what it basically says is that it makes it almost impossible for a third party to get going. Generally, it's a Republican or Democrat. It's really about as far as you can go. And if you have a third party, you generally will not win. So the Democrat Party, the Democrat Socialists, basically came up with this idea, and it's called. And what they did is they are basically like parasites. I hate to say it that way, but that's what they are. They're like parasites. And they found that the only way they can live is if they find a host that will accept them. That ain't the Republican Party. It's the Democrat Party. And so what they did is they used the Democrat Party to get their database, their fundraising, their platform, and be able to run as Democrats in the thought that at some point they will either take over the Democrat Party or they will leave the Democrat Party in shambles, or both, okay? So let's talk about what this really is, and we call this the dirty break, okay? And the dirty break is the DSA's strategy for running candidates on the Democrat ballot while building completely independent organizational power, while the long-term goal of breaking away to form or become an independent working class party is established. That is basically what it is. That's what the Democrats, Socialists of America, know that they cannot do anything by themselves. And the only way they can do this is by becoming a part of a party that will allow them to be legitimized as being a part of their party. But while they're doing it, they're building their own independent structure on the outside of it. So that's why the Democrat Socialists of America have their own website. They've got their own, they train their people how to do things. They've been learning from the Democrat Party for years now. I mean, literally years, decades, they've been learning from the Democrat Party how to build a party, how to build an infrastructure, how to build a database, but they could never get to a point where they could get on the ballot because of the way our system is built. This is why we call this dirty. The dirty part is that they are deliberately using a party whose leadership and orientation they reject. They do not want to become Democrats, you guys. Here's what I want to back up just a bit. The Democrat Socialists of America believe that the Democrat Party is too weak. They don't believe that they're pushing hard enough. They don't believe that they are socialist at all, because they're not, okay? And they want to be socialist. The Democrat Party is capitalist, even though they act like they're socialist. They are still a capitalist part of the capitalist system. The Democrat Socialists of America are not. They're socialists, and they want to stay socialist, and they want the Democrats to be socialist, so they're incompatible. But the Democrats have the party apparatus, the database, that whole thing. So this is why we call it dirty, because they do not want to be Democrats. They reject the Democrat Party, even though they call themselves Democrat. And how does this work in practice? Okay. They primary you. They contest the Democrat primaries, especially safe blue seats. That's why you see these guys, El Sayed and guys like this, and even in New York City. That's a safe seat, right? So they'll go in there and they'll primary these Democrats and get them out of office. They'll win the nominations in the general election as Democrats. They'll caucus with the Democrats when it's useful. Simultaneously, they're building the DSA's own fundraising, data, volunteering, candidate pipeline, messaging, separate from the DNC. And eventually, or they intend to leave the Democrat Party once they're strong enough. This is scary, guys, because we keep telling the Democrat Party, guys, guess what? These Democrat socialists, they're not on your side, guys. They're not here to help you. They're here to either eat you alive like a parasite, or they're going to weaken you to the point where they're going to take half your people away from you. Because I can guarantee you right now, they said that's like 60% of Democrats accept socialism. What does that mean? What that means is that more than half of the Democrats believe that Democrat socialism is the way to go. So what do you think is going to happen when the Democrat socialists get big enough to split off of the Democrat Party? They're going to take half the Democrat Party with them. Which is, so I want you to understand something. So there's always a bright spot to this whole thing, guys. If half of the Democrats, so if you split America half and half, okay, half Republican, half Democrat, okay, because even the independents, basically half of them are Republican, half of them are Democrats, okay. If you split the country half and half, okay, half conservative, half non-conservative, and then you split the Democrat Party because half of them are socialists now and half of them are just progressives, what do you get left? 25%. 25% Democrats or progressives, 25% socialists, guys. So the bright spot here is, guys, guess what? The Democrat Party is probably toast, and the Democrat Socialists are probably toast, which means the Republicans are probably going to end up being in power for a long time because the Democrats are so stupid. Because they're allowing themselves to be eaten alive. And because, guys, guess what we've been telling them? It's not even though nobody's been telling them this. Okay? I want you to understand that. People have been telling them over and over and over again, Democrats, watch it. Democrats, socialists are coming up and they're eating your lunch. Democrats, guess what? And you know what? They're too busy. What are they too busy doing? They're too busy being hateful. They're too busy worrying about Trump. They're too worried about getting their own way instead of watching their backs. So, guys, guess what? There's a bright spot to this whole thing, isn't there? There really is a bright spot to this whole thing, and it means that the Republican Party is probably going to stay in power in perpetuity. And it's not because we planned anything like this. It's because two ugly parties decided to go after each other. They started going after each other, and they got what they wanted. They're both eating each other into oblivion, guys. So there is a bright spot to this. Okay, very excited about that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the show today, guys. I know it ended on a bright note, didn't it? It really did. It ended on a bright note. Anyways, I want to thank you all for being a part of the broadcast today, guys. Check us out online, guys. Check us on our website. Check us out on our social media. And if you want to just get the audio of this broadcast, you want to play it to your friends, especially some of your Democrat friends who really need to hear this, okay? Just trying to help you guys, okay? Then you can go to Spotify. Okay, just go to Spotify and check it out. Anyways, it's been Sherman Ray for the Nevada Conservative Podcast. Thank you once again for being a part of the broadcast, folks. We will see you again tomorrow for more of the TNC podcast. You guys, peace out. Love you. Bye-bye.